All right, this is the book of Philippians 3:14. It says here, I press towards the mark for the prize of the high calling of Yahushai, or Salaki of the Most High, in Yahushai HaMashiach. Let us therefore, as many as be perfect, be thus minded, and if anything be ye otherwise minded, the Most High shall reveal even this unto you. I want to say Shalom, giving all praises and glory and honor that is due to Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Double honors be unto the elders, the apostles of Great Millstone. Blessings and salutations unto the hopeful elect, noise in the gospel, brother of the stern of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. This is the Akim Mahaloya coming back with another quick lesson in transit. Lord's will to be edifying through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, Bashim Rakakwadash. Title, Keep Thy Conversations in the Heavens. And what I mean by that, according to the scriptures, you want to be focused on the spiritual aspect and the benefits in the coming kingdom of heaven, instead of being caught up in the proverbial now, so to speak, because it's easy to get lost in your afflictions and your hell that you're catching as a man of the Lord in his faith. And ultimately, that can be a downfall if you dwell too much on the negativity or the negative energy that votes around you. Because for one thing, we are already in a negative environment, so how much more if you continue to be negative towards certain circumstances? How far would that get you? You know, it's like being on a treadmill, walking backwards. You're going to fall eventually, you know. And I know that's easier said than done, because I mean, brothers catch hell in this society. They go through things, they have illnesses and infirmities, but you have to understand that these things are working together for a particular purpose, because you got to understand that we are in the time of prophecy, and these things that happens on the earth, even in brothers' lives, so to speak, you have to know it's a why for it. So where, when, why, and how. All right, but focus on the why. Why is this happening? Why are you going through certain things? And if you know the prophecies and understand our captivity in the way that the Lord called us out of this world, you will understand that we were made to be a spectacle unto Yahushai. All right, going through certain sacrifices that he went through, because ultimately we are a sacrifice in his truth. All right, from going out there on the highways and the hedges to getting your videos chopped down to going through certain things with family members or on a job, you're a sacrifice, man. All right, and that's why the scriptures say, prepare thy body as a living sacrifice. And also the scriptures go into when thou comes to serve the Lord, prepare thy soul for temptation. So, you know, you have to take the bitter with the sweet. You know, like, we're not saying you're supposed to be just overly happy. You're supposed to just, you know, be cool with the things that happen to you. But ultimately, everything that happened to you in life, you know, whether it's good or bad, always try to learn and grow from it. Okay, it's easy to get in a financial turmoil and just be a blatantly belligerent idiot, man, and want to whoop everybody ass. You know, it's easy to get like that, but that's not the case, you know, because, you know, you got to look at it this way. The society was set up for you to be in debt. All right, and the curses that you're currently suffering because we broke the law, statutes, and commandments, they're ultimate punishments. But what is the end all be all? You know, focus on the finish line. You know, because even doing a relay race or a cross country or a sprint run or a 50-meter dash, whatever you want to call it, even the most fastest runners get tired, but their goal is on the finish line, to focus on the things ahead. Because after that, you hit that finish line, whether you come in first or second place, you get that medal, then you can rest. You know, you rest and you get that prize and you get that glory. And it makes all your work and everything that you've been through, it pays off. It make you say, like, I see why, you know, I went through this, etc. Like, certain brothers go through things in the faith, and eventually you become callous to it. You know, you grow to it. It's like being bulletproof almost. Like, I remember when I went to Chicago last month, man, and I say that, man, I haven't never had this many car problems, you know, for any vehicle that I've ever had, especially when I've been putting constant money into this particular vehicle to keep her running. And it's a fairly good car, you know, it's a very good car, runs very good, but just maintaining it, it just seemed like little things were happening out of the blue. You know, I get one thing fixed, then that'll happen, then I get that fixed and something else will happen. Very unusual. It's like almost being sabotaged. And, you know, it happens, it's common. I'm like, okay, after 3 repairs, cool, you know, because, you know, you got an older car, you got to continue to do work to it. You know, that's how Esau set these things up. So I ain't think nothing of it. But when it kept happening, I said, wait a minute, something ain't right about this. something is not right. I'm like, something is trying to hinder. Well, matter of fact, I won't even say hinder. I said this must be a test from the Most High to test my patience, because at first it felt like I was getting sabotaged. I'm like, wait a minute, this don't seem right. I'm like, every week I'm putting more money into this car, and when I get the things fixed that I got fixed on it, somehow those things are malfunctioning. I say, yeah, this is a test. And at the end of the day, when I made it to Chicago, the Lord revealed to me, this is the reason why you went through all you went through, because this is what I wanted you to come to. And everything I went through up until that point was for us to see those chariots that day, man, which was so worth it. Because let's just say if I got frustrated or mad and decided to say, you know what, F this, I ain't dealing with it no more, I wouldn't have seen that magnificent sight with the brothers, man, which symbolizes salvation. And in order to get salvation, you got to go through the dire straits. Like the scriptures say, through much tribulation should we enter the kingdom until Yahweh Shai, man. So the Spirit told me, he said, this is the reason why you was going through what you was going through. He said, if you wanted to get here that bad, you wanted to be around your brothers and family and to see this magnificent sight, you did what it takes, and you kept consistent, and you kept the faith, and you've been rewarded by seeing these sky full of chariots, man. All right, so when I focus on salvation, my mind is in the same sentiment. My mindset is on the same thing. Okay, I look at it this way: be going through hell in the truth, but keep the faith and keep pushing forth. Therefore, you can get the prize at the end, because the scriptures say that the race is not given to the swift. I believe that's in Ecclesiastes. So that was a hellified learning lesson that increased me mightily in the spirit, because I've grown more patience for little things. Now it's like I don't even give a damn, you know, just like whatever. Okay, this is what it is. I don't even get bothered by it no more, because the Lord, he built me up to the point, and he purged me of things that probably would have aggravated the hell out of me before. He purged me of that. Now we're just like, okay, yeah, it's a nuisance, but it's just like, all right, you deal with it and you deal with it as it comes. It's like, all right, forget it. You know what I'm saying? Because the Lord, he's trying to conform us into his way, not the worldly way. Most people, they just would have bugged out because, you know, financial problems or being sick or whatever it may be. You know, and that's how you know that you're growing in the spirit. But when I say that it was so worth going through those things, just to see the chariots, it was beautiful. And then after that, the Lord put me through another test, sent me through a storm on the way back here. And hey, the Lord brought me through the storm, and hey, I've seen more chariots, man. It turned out to be a very peaceful drive home, man. And it was so worth it. And I was like, out of all the hell I caught, this is for a greater purpose. You know, and it may seem minuscule to certain people, but ultimately the Lord is not done making, it's not done providing a good work. He's not done on it. He's not done with it yet. All right, we're not complete. The Lord still have a mighty work to bring forth through this planet, through his men, all right, through the men that's laboring towards the love of his name. All right, and what we saw in Chicago and what other brothers experience around the world, hey, that's just a foreshadowing of much greater to come. So how much more grateful should we be for catching our hell? Because if you used to being a spoiled brat, you can never appreciate something that you worked for. That's why I was always taught, if you want something, work for it. You appreciate it more. Same thing with the kingdom of heaven. Same thing with the hell we catch. Yeah, it may seem like it's unfair at times, and it is unbiased. I mean, it is biased, but it's that way because, hey, you may be of the elect. You just got to believe that. But when you're focusing on the hurt and the pain of it all, then ultimately you're going to drag through that situation, and you can exemplify a little growth through it. Because then the Lord will put you through another situation similar, and you may handle it the same way. And I know that because I've been in situations like that. You know, you grow a little bit here, you grow a little bit there. But if the Lord wants you, he's going to bring situations about you that you're going to grow from it regardless, man. It can be as simplistic as being in a relationship with a woman you overly cared about. And the point the Lord that keep having y'all break up to the point that you don't even give a damn no more. It's like, whatever. She's out dealing with other men, so be it. What can you do about it? You know, you got to have that mentality. Instead of focusing on, man, you hurt my feelings. Yeah, it hurts. Yeah, it's supposed to hurt. You know, and ultimately, if that is the situation, they would get their just reward. But are you going to sit there and fret in your sorrow? Or are you going to, you know, continue to grow and be built up and become a stronger individual for the Most High? You know? So, yeah, brothers, man, of course, it's a balance to it. Of course, we complain about the hell we catch in our lives. I mean, the scriptures say we can complain continually before the Most High. But ultimately, man, it's just certain vibrations you want brothers to pick up on. And you brothers, man, you young brothers, you got to be spiritual enough to see growth in your counterparts in this truth, man. You just can't let two situations rub you the wrong way, and you determine the outcome of that particular individual. You can't say, well, he had a bug out moment, or he had a moment he seemed like he was off, you know. And you can't let that determine the way you look at a particular brother, man. All right, because he may be growing in the spirit. You can't say, well, he showed me aggression or this last 6 times, now I can't give him the benefit of the doubt. No, if he's still in the faith and he's kicking strong, you give him the benefit of the doubt. And you got to want to see growth in men, man. All right, even if it's a man that you may not fully be in agreement with, but he's pushing the word, you got to want to see the growth in these brothers, man. All right, and I'm speaking for you younger brothers looking at your leaders, man, because a lot of you brothers, man, you get it in your mindset that this is how this person is, and you never know. He may go through something, but he never brought it towards your attention as to why he may have handled it that way. You never know a person's backstory, which we're not going to get into all that, but you have to see growth in men above you and beneath you. You have to see that, all right? You got to want to see that, and you got to commend men for growing, you know. Give the brothers the benefit of the doubt and give them encouragement. You know, same thing with you younger brothers. Hey, man, give your camp leaders, encourage that brother to go strong. Encourage him, you know. Tell him, look, brother, you're doing good. We see growth. Help that man. Big him up. Pick him up, you know. Not big his head up, but pick him up. Let him know that you respect his leadership. Because if you are leading a bunch of men that you don't think have faith in your leadership, and you feel they don't respect you or your decisions, then ultimately that's going to create a leaven in the brotherhood. Eventually it's going to become resentment, and eventually you're going to say, you know what, these men don't put that faith in me anyway, so I'm all in it for myself. Y'all can go if y'all want, or y'all can choose to stay. You don't want to really have that mentality, man, because it can get that way, you know, especially when you see brothers are making moves that's not necessarily in the spirit, it's out of the spirit, and they're getting too presumptuous. You know, they have to respect the leadership in that, you know, because hey, we're men of diverse talents. But anyway, I could be on this all day, but anyway, I'm gonna jump around a little bit. Verse 20, it says, for our conversation is in heaven, from hence also we look for the Savior, the Lord Yahushua HaMashiach. So most of the time, man, when we brothers, we're speaking about the kingdom, the prophecies, you know, what we're gonna do in the kingdom, what kind of businesses we're gonna run in the kingdom. Those are conversations in the heavens. Yeah, you know, we on a sauce, we may talk about the NBA sports or boxing or eating chicken wings and, you know, women, whatever. But ultimately, when you're around brothers, man, you want to switch the conversation up. You don't want to be just one speed, always talking about, well, I had this chick, or I got this coat, or I did this to this. You want to really balance things out, because you don't want brothers to believe that's all you're about. You want to speak about the kingdom to come. Like me personally, you know, I like talking about the heavens. I like talking about the sun, the moon, the stars, the planets, the galaxies, the glory we gonna get. I like to speak about those things, man. You know, because I was always intrigued by the creation of the Most High. Like King David said, he looked up and he was in awe about the Most High's handiwork. Okay, so your conversations will always be in the heavens, whether it's talking about the prophecies or catching the hell to get to the kingdom of heaven. Because we all understand that through much tribulation, I'm gonna quote it again, must we enter to the kingdom of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, man. All right, so if you want to be a pillar in the Lord's house, in a mansion in his house, you got to be tried, man. You know, and I understand it's hard to go through the hell, because it seems like it's a constant thing. But ultimately, man, as you grow in this faith, you can expect the hell to come. And when the hell come, it's like, yes, hell, but it's just like you deal with it. You're like, damn, this is really it. This is really doable. You know, because the scriptures say that the Most High won't put anything on you beyond what he can tempt you. All right, so always focus on the positively, on the why and in the future. You know, don't focus so much on the now, because if you focus on the now, you're going to be trying to get a worldly victory, which a worldly crown, that's what the scriptures say, some have labored to obtain a corruptible crown. And you're focusing on getting the love of the world, that's a corruptible crown. Because hey, the scriptures say, if the world hated you, know it hated me before it hated you, brother. So always focus on the kingdom. Be a visionary, man. Like I always tell brothers, man, I said, look, man, this is not our rest. We got to focus on the kingdom. Like I see, and it's really about being patient. And you know what? I use the worldly concept mindset about, it's a song in the world that was made by, I forgot, it's called Waiting on My Moment. You know, it go Waiting on My Moment. It's by, what's this guy name, man? It came out back in 2012. But basically, he used it in a carnal standpoint for him waiting to get his glory in the world, meaning the cars, the clothes, the women. You know, some guys sit back and they watch other people grind, and they be like, I can't, you know, I use that as motivation. You know, like Jeezy had a song, it's an album called Thug Motivation 101, which was motivating a bunch of wicked drug dealing Negroes. All right, because that album was really set up to put Jake in prison, to get Jake out there to hustle and to envy off one another. But basically, Waiting on My Moment was basically waiting on the time that he got his record deal so he could go out here and obtain a corruptible crown. So when I hear a lot of Jakes, they got the love, they got the fame, like all these celebrities and basketball players and stuff like that, even men in the world, I look at them, I see how they all loved. And I look at myself, I'm like, I don't want to be compared to them. I'm just waiting on my moment, because I know in my moment, in our moment, the kingdom of heaven is going to be revealed. That's when I'm going to get my glory. All the works, all the sacrifice, all the hurt, all the pain, all the letdowns, all the being pushed to the side, being spat at, it's all going to pay off, man. And I have to keep telling myself that. Yeah, it gets a little antsy at times, because it's like, man, your flesh kicking like, man, I'm a way better pick than this guy. I'm way more talented than this, man. What do he got that I don't have? And you can get like that. But a lot of times I have to rebuke that, because I know my self-worth, but the world don't know your self-worth. And that's the point. We ain't trying to convince the world our self-worth. Fuck these people. All right? We're convincing Yahweh Shai that we're above this. That's why it says that, look, I'm from above and you're from beneath, man. All right? So don't focus on providing or proving your self-worth to these people, man, because they don't see your self-worth, because the Lord is not dealing with them. And off that alone, you got the victory. That's why a lot of times, once again, I see these carnal 2/3 being exalted and being loved. I sit back, I'm like, my time is coming. But it's going to be so far, like when it hit, it's going to hit hard, man. Like I was telling her, Aqua, that she's a sucker to our camp. I tell her all the time, I said, look, yeah, we ain't getting a lot of recognition right now out here, because we're sabotaged, our pages get shut down, but we do the work. But I said the Lord is going to do a mighty work through my camp, you know, and I believe that, and I'm waiting on that, because that way, hey, it's going to put everybody off guard by storm, and we going to be like, look, we were still in this the whole time, we ain't went nowhere, you know, which is not about proving a point, but hey, the Lord, he works in mysterious ways, and I still believe that the Lord is going to do a mighty work through myself and brothers around me. I believe that, and I hope for that, you know, because hey, that way you can see, look, the Lord deals with the lowly, you know. Brothers take L's all the time, but hey, you know, that's what this thing is all about. And it says here, who shall change our vile body, that it may be fashioned like unto his glorious body, according to the workings whereby he is able even to subdue all things unto himself. So we're waiting on that glory, brothers. All right, we ain't trying to obtain the corruptible crown here. All right, we speak from a heavenly perspective. Like when I speak like this sometimes around co-workers, it go right over their head, man. And sometimes I do it on purpose to see where their mind is at. Like one of this guy I work with this morning, he was like, he was talking to some dude that said he was a Trump supporter, because Jake still believe in the whole Democrat and Republican. They still really believe that Trump is the cause of everything that's going on. I said, no, Trump is just a face and a puppet. He don't make the rules. You say, well, Trump is a dumbass president. Well, yeah, he's a dumb president, but you blaming him. Really, it's the Most High that's behind all this. All right, the Most High set up the elites to push this curriculum, but Jake is so shallow to the point they can only go by what they see. They can't see the fact that the Rothschilds and the hidden government or the hidden hand of the Most High is directly intervening in man's affairs on the earth. They don't see it that way. They can't see it. That's over their head. So I was like, you know what? I'll support Trump. I said, I don't care for him. I don't like him, but I support him. I said, I support him because he's going to bring about the end of America. And when I said that, he didn't even know how to come back at that. He didn't know how to respond to it. Because in his mindset, he said, well, look, I just want to live my life to the fullest and I'm going to die. Then I want to die. He don't even look forward into a new life, a new heavens. That show you how out of touch with the reality of the Most High these Jakes are, man. Because I said, man, I said, I'm ready to go home. And in his mindset, he thinking I was talking about death. And I was like, no, I'm not talking about death. I was saying being put in rulership and going back into our homeland. But see, Jake don't understand that because they're not spiritual. They can't see the spirit. They don't believe that so-called UFOs are going to come and take us out of this place once it's getting ignited by fire. They don't believe that. How can that happen? That's something off a sci-fi movie. What are you talking about? UFOs are gonna take you from one part of the world to the next so you can survive. They don't understand that, because when you speak of going home or kindling tides, they think you have to die to get the kingdom of heaven, man, when that's not necessarily the case. Because Yahushua said, it says, those of you that are alive should be caught up with the Lord, and you should be ever so with the Lord forever. Even so, amen. Amen, you know? So it go right over to Jake's head. He said, man, I just want to live my life to the fullest, because I know we all gonna die one day. And in the back of my mind, I'm like, this dude doesn't have a freaking clue. But it ain't his fault. You know, I don't hate him because of what he said. It just, the Most High didn't impart to his understanding. But what does get frustrating is when you try to tell them, and, you know, this is what it is, and you try to give them insight, they take your word with a grain of salt, and just like, okay, yeah, I hear you, but you sound like just you just sound like you just saying something. You sound like somebody told you that. They don't believe it coming from you, all right, because they haven't experienced the reality of it, all right. That's what makes us different between the 2/3 and the 1/3, because we ultimately have faith in a higher thing, you know, all right. So anyway, I'm gonna go from here to 1 Thessalonians real quick. Matter of fact, I'm gonna say that for last. I'm gonna go to 1 Corinthians 4th chapter, start at verse 8. And you gotta bear with me, brothers. I'm driving actually, which is probably not a smart idea, but you know what? I'm in the spirit right now, man. Spirit is gonna guide things the way it needs to. And you gotta think positive too, man. You know, like I said earlier, there's so much negativity in our lives, man, to the point it don't hurt to have a positive thought, because that one positive thought could be your entry out of your hell. All right, and it goes all back to faith at the end of the day. You know, when things that seem very grim by comparison, yeah, it's easy to get bitter and throw a temper tantrum and want to fight. Yeah, and at times you may. You know, like I said, it's a balance. At times you need to vent and say F-U-C-K the world. But at times, man, you know, us as being leaders, you can't walk around with a chip on your shoulder 24/7, man. You know, and sometimes you may not have one. You may just have a stern look. Like me personally, I don't smile a lot. I just look serious. That don't mean I'm mad, you know. And brothers that know me know that. They know my sarcasm and my sense of humor. Those that know me. Brothers that don't know me, or people that don't know me, they can look at us like, damn, this guy's very, very fucking firm. And I am, you know, but they're like, damn, this guy's very firm and stern. Like, he don't let up, do it. You know, if I crack a joke, you know, brother may like, what do you mean by that? But you know, if you know me, then you know what I'm talking about. You know, but it's all through the spirit. Nothing to take personally or offended at, you know. Saying, because the brothers got different personality. Like, I was talking to the brothers last week at the camp. I said, man, y'all a bunch of dead motherfuckers, you know. And I was like, y'all don't seem like y'all rejoice at all, man. I'm like, what the hell wrong with you dudes, man? I said, Kansas City has got you guys docile as hell. And brother's like, nah, brother, I'm rejoicing. It just, you know, I show it in my way, you know. And I was like, yeah, I hear you, you know. And I received that, because that's the way that brother is showed to rejoice, you know. I ain't mad at him, you know. But sometimes when it's not enough energy or enough excitement going on, it can drain your spirit. This is why it's good to be in an upbeat spirit, and it's hard sometimes. That's why you call on brothers, and you call on the spirit and power you how about you how shy to get you through your hell. Because right now we're in a time of rejoicing, bro. You know, the time now of being mad, you know, for the wrong reasons is really, it shouldn't be a thought at all, you know. Because for one thing, you shouldn't be mad at the wrong reason. Be mad for the right reasons. Scriptures say, be angry, sin not. You know, of course we're mad at the 2/3. Of course we're mad at Esau, Edom. Of course we want justice, we want revenge. Of course you don't want to deal with the Jake across the hall or the black woman down the street. Of course you don't want to deal with them. Them people ultimately irritate you. But at the end of the day, you got to focus on the bigger picture. Are you going to let them mess up your salvation? Are you going to let them do something that's going to put you in jeopardy of being called a 2/3? Hell no. Nah. That ain't worth it. You know? Like I said, you ain't supposed to be a pushover either. You know, ain't nobody just going to come up to you and just do a spit at you without some repercussions behind it. But ultimately, think positive. All right, so this is 1 Corinthians 4:8. It says, now ye are full. It says, now ye are rich. Ye have reigned as kings without us. And I would to the Most High ye did reign, that we also may reign with you. For I think that the Most High set forth us, the apostles, last, as it were appointed unto death, okay? Because we're all apostles, all right? Like Apostle Ricard said, he says we're all apostles, right? It ain't just because you got ranking. We're all apostles, because apostle means to send forth. stole means to send, apo means forth, I believe, or vice versa. You know, apostle means to send forth. That's why it says here, we're set forth us the apostles last, and this is why we catch a lot of the hell that we catch. It seems like we have no glory. You know, our lives, it seems miserable to people that don't understand us, so that may spectate us on our behaviors, our mannerisms, because they don't understand that really we're the maintenance workers of Israel. And everybody know that if you work for a city agency or state agency, you already know, if you maintenance, you already know you got the shitty end of the stick. You know what I'm saying? Because for the simple fact, you know, you do all the grunt work. So we're really the grunts of the truth, all right? We receive the worst benefit package for the time being, even though we got a benefit package that's beyond fathomable. But what I'm saying is the fact that for the pay, or for what we do, it seems like it's shitty. All right, we don't get the love of the people much. We overlook, you know, people mess with us, demons attack us. It seems to be very crappy, you know, for what we do. But at the end of the day, it's really worth it, you know. But it says here, as we are appointed unto death, it says, for we are made a spectacle unto the world, and to the angels, and to men. Okay, if you go into the word spectacle, matter of fact, let me look up the word spectacle real quick. Give me one moment. All right, so I had to switch over to the blue level real quick. All right, so we're gonna look up the word spectacle and get some understanding on it and get the meaning of it. Alrighty, so the word spectacle in the Greek goes back into the Greek word. Hold up.
Strong's G 2302. Theatron
means somebody to look upon.
Theatron.
You look upon. What happens when you go to theater? You're going to see something. You're going to look upon. And that's beautiful. All these cherries in the skies right now, man. Like, they're clouds, but those are cherries. I've been seeing them all yesterday. You know, throughout all this smog and this smoke from those Western Coast fires, them cherries are right up there. And I know that's a cherry right there. I just feel it, you know. But anyway, so, wait, what the hell? What happened? Let me pull it up again. Spectacle, there we go. So we're gonna look up the definition here. So it goes, a theater, a place in which games and dramatic spectacles are exhibited. When you go exhibit for something, it means you're going to spectate on it. And public assemblies held for the Greek used to theater also forming. So it's a show. We're a show. People would look past as they drive past the camp. They may honk a horn. They may shalomas, or they may stick the middle finger up. And they may throw something at us. That's a spectacle. It said a man who is exhibited to be gazed at and made sport of. Okay, look at us like we're a joke. You know, and ultimately, most of the people look at us like we're a joke. They come back and they don't even acknowledge us. Why? Because they basically saying you guys are wasting your time out there. You know, and some of you guys are wasting your time out there because you don't belong here. You know, and I'm not saying it to be, you know, benevolent or anything. I'm just saying it's just the truth. A lot of guys don't understand what they're in. You know, that's why it's a matter of growth. But it says, but we are fools for the anointed sake, but ye are wise in the anointing. And we are weak, but ye are strong. And ye are honorable, but we are despised. Okay? So this is all part of the bigger picture. All right? We're not going through these things just because it says, the scripture says it's good to suffer. No, it's a particular reason. You're being purged and you're being made for something great to come. And you got to think that. You got to understand that. All right? And you got to exemplify that. When you're going through hell, man, brother, like, you like, look, man, I'm cool, bro. It's all good. Like, I know the bro asked me, he was like, man, you still going through car problems? I said, yeah, nah, I should be good. You know, I'm like, yeah, kind of, but not really. I'm good now. But I'm like, you know what, bro? It was all worth it in the end. I'm like, that's just the thing that come with the ministry. I'm like, these are just things we're going to go through. I didn't get blatantly mad and say, man, this shit. No, I said, man, brother, this is just things we got to go through. You know, because you become callous to it. It's just like, okay, whatever. And ultimately, the Lord, he gets you in the mindset of not caring for those particular things, because you look at the hell you catch dealing with them. It's like, why don't I even wrap my time and energy up into this stuff? You know, I mean, it's good to have them, and, you know, brothers like nice things. That's just for your instant gratification then, but that ain't nothing you put your faith in. Like I was telling co-worker today, I said, yeah, I'm tired, man. I'm ready to just get up and, you know, just go. I'm waiting for this to go down, you know. I'm like, I'll sell all this shit. I'll leave all this stuff behind, man. Car, clothes, shoes, entertainment systems, whatever I may possess. I'm like, I'll leave all this shit behind at the end of the day, you know. And in the process of trying to sell a lot of stuff to get some money out of it, to convert it into real money. That'd be a smart thing to do, too. Sell a lot of this stuff you got. and convert it into real money. Because hey, we ain't taking this stuff. You ain't, look, man, you ain't gonna take your 52-inch screen TV and on a run with you in Jacob's trouble, man. That's just stupidity. You gonna leave it there. All right, well, Esau gonna come in and confiscate it anyway. Let them have at it. Let them use it, you know. But anyway, it says here, but we are despised, even unto this present hour. We both hunger and thirst, and are naked, and are buffeted, and have no certain dwelling place, and labor, working with our own hands, being reviled. We bless, being persecuted. It says we suffer it. All right. It's the reason why we're suffering these things, man. The Spirit and power Yahweh has set it up for that. It says, but being defamed, we entreat, and we are made as the filth of the world, and as the offscourging of all things unto this day. So, hey, don't marvel or don't be dismayed when people look at you weird, or they don't want to have nothing to do with your company. Even if you may be saying the same thing of a Jake in the world, you know, and you may not be saying it as hip as he did, yeah, they're not going to accept it from you, because it's a spirit that comes along with the 2/3 and Satan and the men of the Lord and the Most High. It's two different spirits that comes along with that. So yeah, you may appear to dress like one of these men, and you may even talk like them, but it's not going to be received by them through you, because you're different, and you got to embrace being different. You got to embrace being hated. You got to embrace being not the man right now. You got to embrace, man. This is all about taking a low, man. Yahweh took the low. He said, look, I could call a legion of angels right now. He said, you think my servants will fight? He said, I get myself out of this, but hey, I ain't got to. I had to take the low. So take the low, man. That's all it's about. Because, hey, the scriptures say those that are first should be last, and those that are last should be first. So, hey, we're exemplifying that. You know? So, hey, yeah, brothers, man, it's all about keeping the conversations in the heavens and being positive. Like I said, it's easier said than done. It's not that easy. Trust me. I mean, at times you really want to you just want to isolate yourself. You know, but at the same time, brothers, man, it's a balance with everything. We're not saying you can't complain or get mad, but to be in that spirit 24/7, to let your personal life weigh your actions and your activities down to the truth, that when it becomes a burden, you know, and you can see when brothers are slacking off in the world or slacking off in the faith due to their personal things that they got going on. All right. And yeah, you reach out to brothers to see how they're doing, but ultimately it's your fault and your detriment if you don't reach out and say, hey, brother, I need some prayer, man. I need to talk to you, man. I'm going through things. How can I learn to balance my life with this truth? Because if I'm going through things with my wife and my kids and my job, and it's affecting my walk in the ministry, that's when you need to, that's the cry for help. That's when you need to stop being stubborn and say something, man. All right. Nobody's going to look down on you, man, because we all lean on one another. We all validate each other in this ministry, man. All right. And that's what it's about. All right. So this is the book of 2 Corinthians 4, starting at verse 13. It says, we have the same spirit of faith, according to as it is written, I believed and therefore I have spoken, and we also believe and therefore speak, knowing that he which raised up Yahushua Hamashiach shall raise us up also by Yahushua, and shall present us with you. Okay, so hey, we're going to be glorified together with the Hamashiach, man. He said, look, you will be joint heirs, man. He said, my father's house is of many mansions. So embrace the hell. Look forward to that. Your roof may fall in, or you may get evicted. That's not the end game. Your house may burn down. That's not the end game. You may lose a job. That's not the end game. That's just temporal, man. Can't focus on that. And it says here, for all things are for your sakes, that the abundant grace might through the thanksgiving of many redound to the glory of the Most High, for which cause we faint not, but through our outward man perish, yet our inward man is renewed day by day. God, and that's sometimes you feel like you don't want to do anything, but the spirit keeps you going. All right, because your body, you're sick. Mentally, you're sick. You've been in America too long. You're ready to drop dead just off breathing the air, drinking the water alone. But hey, constantly our spirit is renewed to do the lesson. Like, it be some days I don't know what the hell I'm gonna talk about, but the spirit will give me something. Like this lesson is sparked from another lesson. Domino effect, feeding off brothers' spirits, man. And you grabbing the Holy Spirit. That's why I'm able to do this lesson. Because if it was up to me and my flesh, I wouldn't know what the hell to talk about. I'd be lost, man. But this is the Spirit of the Lord. And it says, for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, work it for us a far more exceedingly and eternal weight of glory. And I got the precept to that in Romans 8. It says, and while we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen, the spirit, the spiritual realm, the heavens, the kingdom of heaven, everlasting life, all right, everlasting glory, kingship, daughters, sons, women, wives, concubines, great food, parties, you know, chariots, feasts, high holy days, and ultimately being with the Heavenly Father himself. That's something to look forward to. But you got to visualize that. If you can't visualize that, then you're wasting your time, man. All right? Because this truth is not just like a, you know how they say I'm living paycheck to paycheck. This ain't just a making it day by day. We are, but ultimately you got to have that long tunnel vision of seeing that light at the end of the tunnel, man. You got to know that you're going to make it out on the other side. Other than that, you're fooling yourself. And it says, why we look not at the things which are seen, but at the things which are not seen. For the things which are seen are temporal, but the things which are not seen are eternal. Right? All right? The things that made the heavens and the earth are eternal. Likewise, if we're of the hopeful elect, we're eternal. Because the scriptures say that the Lord have made man to be immortal. All right? And I'm not talking about these present bodies. These bodies are not immortal. They're of the earth. They're of the terrain. All right? They're terrestrial. They're of the earth. They're meant to die off and go back into the earth and become elements of the earth. All right. But your spirit in the eternal kingdom is going to be eternal, glorious. All right. I got another precept real quick. And Salakia that this lesson is long, but I mean, you know, I get thorough sometimes, man. You know, because this is a heavy lesson that brothers, I think they should really look at and really and take it by the ears, man. And I have to tell this myself, because at times I get in that bitter spirit, man, you know, and I'm like, you know what, man, hey, anybody run up and get it, you know, but, you know, you change that about yourself, okay? You keep the killer instinct about you in your mind, but there's a time and place to bring out that inner monster, man. Now, I ain't never say do away with it, but always use it at the right time. You don't have to be, well, you got to be a warrior 24/7 to deal with what you're dealing with, but ultimately, you don't want to be exemplifying that spirit. Sometimes you gotta, like Floyd Mayweather got the shoulder roll with a Philly shell. He'll let them punches roll off you sometime, you know, or handle them as they come. And even if something is bothering you, you know, practice to try to, you know, keep upright mind about it. Because there's a lot of shit that I can act off of right now, but I ain't gonna do it for what? What benefit is that gonna merit me? Jail time, being put out, or any type of thing that's really not profitable right now? No, it's a lot of things we can act on right now, but we choose not to. All right, so this is the book of Romans 8:18. It says, for I reckon the sufferings of this present time are not worthy to be compared with the glory that should be revealed in us. So hey, focus on the kingdom, focus on beyond America, man. And that's what Jake get it twisted. Jake, they vision is here in America, man. Jake, and I'm talking about men outside the truth, and some men in the truth, they don't see nothing beyond this place, and this is why they can't extrapolate, or they can't elevate into the heavens, man. They can't see it because they don't know. They can't get it. It's like trying to catch a gnat with your bare hands. It's not going to work. All right. And Jake can't see it. Their glory is in America. And this is why the 2/3 are going to be left here. They don't have visionaries, because when you speak of the kingdom of heaven, they think you got to die and go to a place in the heavens, which when you do pass upon death, you do go to the spirit realm, the heavens. But we're talking about the whole order of the heavens being set up on the planet Earth, us being alive and well to witness these things in the flesh, but in the spiritual body. All right, in the flesh, but not operating in the flesh, if you know what I mean. It says, for the earnest expectations of the creature waited for the manifestations of the sons of the Most High. All right, so there you go. We're made and we're pretty low for a particular reason, because we have to overcome. It says, because the creature itself also should be delivered from the bondage of corruption into the glorious liberty of the children of the Most High. All right, for we know that the whole creation groaneth and travaileth in pain together until now. You know, and that's going into us. We in hell, but hey, ultimately we overcome. And it says here, and not only they, but ourselves also, which have the first fruits of the Spirit, even we ourselves groan within ourselves, waiting for the adoption, to wit, the redemption of our body. So we're waiting on that new body. We're waiting on hope. The earth is waiting on us to get into rulership. The trees are depressed. Everything is depressed. You know, but we got to rise above the depression and keep going. You know, like a Ronin warrior, so to speak. All right. Verse 28. And it says, and we know that all things work together for good to them that love the Most High, and to them who are the called to his purpose. From whom he did foreknow, he also did predestine to be conformed to the image of his Son. See, that's the vision there. That's the future. That's what we're looking forward to. That he may be the firstborn among many brethren. Moreover, Whom he did predestinate, them he also called. And whom he called, them he also justified. And whom he justified, them he also glorified. So at the end of the day, brothers, man, hey, the Lord got us. You just got to know that, and you got to believe that. That's why the name of this lesson is keeping your conversations in the heavens, man. Keep it positive, you know. Yeah, we gonna bicker and moan and cry and pout, but hey, overall, you gotta have a balance. You gotta still look forward to the kingdom. You know, don't be stagnant with moving. Move. All right. Last precept, 1 Thessalonians 4:18. Wherefore comfort one another with these words. All right. And with that, all praises and glory and honor is due to Yahweh Shem Shai. And with that, shalom and a barbabal.